High in the Andes, hidden by clouds and time, sits the skeleton of a lost empire, an empire without wheels, without writing, but with roads that stretched over 24,000 miles. The Inca ruled more people than any other native civilization in the Americas, and yet, in a matter of decades, they were wiped off the map. How does something like that happen? Who were these mountain kings? How did they rise so fast and fall even faster? Stick with me, because in this episode, we'll uncover the stunning story of the Inca, their mysterious beginnings, godlike rulers, masterful engineering, and the shocking betrayal that ended it all. And here's the twist. Some of the clues to their downfall were planted long before the Spanish ever arrived. Welcome to the channel, where history isn't just facts, it's a journey. Today we're diving into the dramatic saga of the Inca Empire, one of the most advanced and enigmatic civilizations in the ancient world. This isn't just about ruins and relics. It's about people, families, kings, conquests, civil wars, and an empire built in the clouds. Whether you're a total newbie or a long-time history lover, this video is packed with stories, surprises, and insights you've probably never heard before. And by the end, I want to know, what do you think was the true reason the Inca fell? Leave your thoughts in the comments. Let's start where the Inca say it all began, Lake Titicaca. According to legend, the god Viracocha created the world and sent his children, Manco Capac and Mama Oclo, to bring civilization to humanity. They emerged from the sacred lake and wandered the Andes with a golden staff. Wherever it sank into the earth, that would be the center of their new world. That place? Cusco, the future capital of the Inca Empire. It's important to know this origin story wasn't just spiritual, it was political. By claiming divine ancestry, the Inca justified their right to rule. They were the chosen ones of the sun. But historically, the Inca didn't emerge as a major power until the early 1200s. Before that, they were just one of many small tribes living in the Andean highlands. So how did the Inca go from a small tribe to the rulers of the largest empire in pre-Columbian America? Enter Pachacuti. Around 1438, the Chanca people attacked Cusco. The Inca king fled, but his son Pachacuti stayed behind. He rallied the defenders, led a heroic counterattack, and drove the invaders out. That moment changed everything. Pachacuti took the throne and became the empire's true founder. He reorganized the government, expanded the military, and transformed Cusco into a glittering imperial capital. He also launched the Inca into full-blown empire-building mode. His successors, including his son Tupac Inca Yupanqui, expanded the empire from Ecuador to Chile. At its peak, the Inca Empire, also known as Tawantinsuyu, stretched 2,500 miles and ruled over 12 million people. How do you control an empire that massive, without wheels, horses, or iron? The Incas answer, infrastructure. They built the Capac Ñan, a network of roads across mountains, deserts, and jungles. There were rope bridges, stone staircases, and tunnels carved through solid rock. Messages were sent using chasqui, fleet-footed runners who passed messages using quipus, a system of knotted strings that recorded numbers, dates, and events. Think of it as an analog data network. And then there's agriculture. The Inca turned the mountains into giant staircases, terraces that prevented erosion and grew everything from quinoa to potatoes. They used cold nights to freeze-dry food, creating chuño, a survival food that could last for years. They stored these in vast warehouses, or kolkas, ready to feed armies or famine-struck regions. It was a welfare system centuries ahead of its time. So what was life like for the average Inca? Society was organized into ailes, kin-based communities where land and labor were shared. You didn't own your land, but you worked it for your family, your community, and the empire. There was no currency. Instead, people paid their taxes through labor, called mita. You might be building roads one year, farming the next. Religion was central. The sun god Inti was the top deity, but mountains, rivers, and even stones could be sacred. And the emperor, the Sapa Inca, was considered the literal son of the sun. Death wasn't the end. The Inca practiced ancestor worship. Dead rulers were mummified, dressed, and even attended political meetings. Their wealth stayed with them, so technically, they never stopped ruling. By the early 1500s, the Inca were powerful, but cracks were forming. Then came a bombshell. Emperor Huayna Capac died, likely from smallpox brought by early European contact. Two of his sons, Atahualpa in the north and Huascar in the south, claimed the throne. A civil war broke out, ripping the empire apart. It wasn't just a political fight. It was brutal. Entire cities were sacked. Nobles were executed. Atahualpa eventually won, but the cost was massive. And then, right as Atahualpa claimed victory, the Spanish arrived. In 1532, Francisco Pizarro landed in Peru with just over 160 men. How could such a small force take down an empire of millions? Pizarro invited Atahualpa to a peaceful meeting in the city of Cajamarca. The Inca emperor came unarmed, and then ambush. Thousands of Inca were slaughtered. Atahualpa was captured. He offered a ransom, a room filled with gold and 2 more with silver. Pizarro took it, then executed him anyway. What followed was years of guerrilla warfare, betrayals, puppet emperors, and uprisings. But by 1572, the last free Inca city, Vilcabamba, was captured. The empire was gone. The Inca didn't fall just because of Spanish guns and steel. They were weakened by civil war, disease, and internal strife. The conquest wasn't a single battle. It was a slow unraveling. But their legacy lives on. In language, millions still speak Quechua today. In agriculture, the terraces are still used. And in spirit, Machu Picchu remains a symbol of human resilience, ingenuity, and ambition. Now, I want to hear from you. What do you think was the biggest factor in the fall of the Inca Empire? Spanish deception, internal division, or something else entirely? Let me know in the comments. And if you enjoyed this dive into the past, please hit that like button, subscribe, and ring the bell so you don't miss our next adventure into history. Thanks for watching, and as always, stay curious.